Hey friends, this is Laura with Potpourri of Life, and for those who don't know, this is my husband David. I invited him to talk with me tonight. We're not going to talk for very long. First of all, he doesn't talk much. But second of all, there's something I want to share with you, a project that he and I had worked on before the world fell apart. But anyways, what I wanted to share is it's been a while since I've been on, and I'm trying to decide how I want to move forward with Potpourri of Life and what I want to share. And one of the things that I am going to be sharing more of is my sewing. And because I'm trying to bring back, or I will be bringing back, Davina Dawn's Sewing Specialties, which is my sewing business. I'm still registered in the state, and it's like, why waste what I paid in? And I needed the break from the sewing because it got to the point where I was doing for everybody else and never making something for me. Never mending his clothes, which sometimes they need to be done. And it's not that he insisted on it, but you know what? In these times when we're trying to keep our costs at a reasonable level, trying to keep a budget intact, many of you know that I try to keep things within a budget. I try to be really frugal, and I'm not talking about cheap, and I've shared the difference between cheap and frugality. But basically frugality is if we have stuff and I can fix it, then why not fix it? What do you think?
Sounds good.
Sounds good. But he does the same thing. There are projects I ask of him, which I can do too because I have a woodworking background as well, but his is more in depth than mine. And I want to get back into his shop a little bit more to make things myself. This past fall I did make a raised bed where my garlic is coming along. We have not gotten much snow until last week, and I'm like, oh dear. And the garlic is really shooting up, and I really like my raised bed, and I'm not sure if I shared it in a visit. It's kind of cool.
It's really cool.
Yeah. He giggled. I don't know why he did. So I just want to make sure he's on board with me. But anyways, so I'm excited about that. And the other thing that I'm excited about is maybe it's not ours, my plans for some garden stuff. We have some other future plans too in terms of do we stay here or do we move? Our goal is to move, right?
Move.
Yeah,
Yes.
we really want to move. So that is in God's hands. But that's the other reason that we're trying to be frugal, because we do not want to spend a bunch of money if we can continue to save towards the house that we want. Will it happen this year? We don't know. God has it all in his hands, and we have to trust that. So I'm here today to kind of like share a little bit of what I've done. And one of the things that I'm making today while he was at work is I've never done this before. I am making my first batch of yogurt today. And I was talking to some people on a group that I kind of connect with on Thursday nights, and they were talking about an Instapot. And ever since they became a thing, I was just like, I don't need one more appliance. I just don't need any more of this stuff. Guess what I got for Christmas? I got an Instapot. And so this is the first time I'm using it, and I waited and waited, and then Kathy had shared with me the cookbook that she uses, which is this one. And she was very specific, and I am so glad that she referenced this because this is really informative, easy to follow steps to making yogurt. Now, yeah, I cook all the time, and I don't even use recipes for the most part, do I?
No.
Nothing's ever the same. But it's good for the most part, right?
Most of the time, yeah.
99.9% of the time. There's
I
that point.
I didn't check percentages.
There's that 0.01% that I don't even like it. But that's just because that's the way I am. I go and I say, okay, what's in my cupboards, what's in the refrigerator, and I kind of put things together. But I do use recipes.
Pinch of this, pinch of that.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
And a little bit of vanilla. My yogurt has 2 teaspoons of vanilla, I think. It might be more because I don't measure. But anyways, that's just the way I cook. But I'm not upset. It's what kind is it? It's what kind of yogurt am I making? A Greek yogurt. So, and I'm kind of really excited about doing this. I'm hoping it turns out. And because it's a whole gallon of milk, because the recipe called for a whole gallon, and yes, I could have cut it down. The reason I didn't, I don't start cutting my recipes down until I've tried it the first time around. But on the bright side, because I cannot possibly eat that much yogurt within a week. So I will be putting it in freezer containers, and I researched, and you can freeze yogurt for up to 2 months. They say that you can keep it longer, but I think 2 months will be fine for me because he enjoys yogurt. He's not had any homemade yogurt. He usually gets some and he likes the fruit. I get the plain Greek yogurt, and we can put jam on it. I can put real berries from the freezer on it. That's how we do yogurt. So the goal is to get away from buying yogurts at the store, and this was, for the amount that I made, it's so less expensive. Is that a right term?
Cheaper.
It's not cheap. We don't do cheap.
Cheaper.
We less expensive.
Less expensive.
You gotta use the right terminology here. Well, anyways, onward in terms of we're busy. There are things that we're trying to do. I was online today while he was working, trying to figure out what seeds I want to order. So that was on my to-do list, and so I'm deciding where are these things going to go if we stay here, and what am I going to do if we decide to move. So I'm trying to figure out what we are going to do for seeds, and so hopefully that order I will be placing tonight so I can take that off my shoulders. So the other thing that I was wanting to share with you is somebody had shared on a group that I belong to, and that they have this stool that they didn't know what to do with, and it looked similar to a stool that David and I reupholstered for our daughter in 2019. She came to us and she said, "Mom, Dad, could you fix this?" And we looked at it. The wood was solid. The legs were nice. The legs were pretty good. You didn't have to do anything to the legs.
I sanded them and stuff.
Oh yeah, and then
Just
you
to
stained
smooth them up and make them all the same, because they had different scratches and whatnot. But
And then we put a little nubby on the foot, right?
yeah, a little slide pad.
Yeah, I didn't know what it was called. I put padding in my notes on the video. So he did that part, and what I did was, as he took the material, and this was really a mess, and it wasn't my daughter who did it, she found it on the side of the road. Yes, that's what we do if we see something. Yeah, can we get that? And I don't do that very often, but when you see something that can work, and my daughter does this too, and she brought the stool over. It's a nice ottoman type rectangular stool, and it's something that you can sit on comfortably, or you can use it in front of a chair to relax your feet on. Prop your feet up. Yeah. And so she brought it to us asking us, and she says, "You don't have to do it right away." She says, "You could do it as a Christmas gift." This is one of those frugal things that we do as a family, is if we can make it and it's something that they want, we will definitely take our labor and resources and turn it into a gift. And that's what we did. We tore it apart. You will see the before of the plastic. Now this goes back to the 60s, I believe. Wouldn't you say?
Could be 60s, 50s.
Yeah, somewhere in that time area, because that's what we used to see on some of the kitchen furniture and stuff like that. But then the other people, because people use these stools for everything, there is some paint splattered everywhere, and some of it was tearing apart. So what they did was, I think the attempt was to do a patchwork cover with cotton fabric. And when you cover a stool, even if you're recovering it, or if you're going to reupholster, which is what we did, you don't want to use basic cotton. First of all, it can stretch, and it's too thin where it will not wear right. But I had some upholstery fabric left over, because I always have leftover, and it was plenty. And I asked her, "What's the color you want?" She goes, "Something neutral." I said, "Would a grayish blue work for you?" And she goes, "Yeah." So I got the material, I showed her. She was okay with it. So that's what we worked on. We tore it apart. You took all the pieces off, all the fabric off. I took the pieces and I made a pattern to replicate this. And then I made the cording. I made the cording piece to go into it too. So you're going to see places where he's taking it off and then he's going in, stapling in, and then you'll see the final results. The first two pictures show the final results, but then you'll see the work in progress throughout the video. And I'm not talking throughout it. Some of you might be happy because I chatter too much. But anyways, that's what this video is about. This is about what David and I do as a couple when we're trying to figure out something, or we have something and we want to fix it. Because we have things that we've got things from your dad's house too.
Mm-hmm.
That
this project was actually fun because it was a relatively small project, but you could do it on a bigger scale, like a whole couch or something. But it was small and fun and easy and quicker.
And it was fun because we were doing it together. And the other cool part is if he got stuck somewhere, he would ask me, and kind of the same thing as we were just working together to get this done. And it was fun. And so that's what this is about. And we have some projects because we inherited some pieces from his dad's house that we haven't decided what we're going to do with them, but that's some stuff that we're going to be working on. So as the year goes on, not only will I be sharing a little bit about the gardens, the herbs, more, I can't talk tonight. I'll be talking a lot about herbs because I am in depth of my herbal studies right now. And I am so excited about that. Am I not?
Yes, you are.
Just a little bit. And it's really great because I like herbal medicine. And I'm finding some things are working for me on some areas. And then there's other things that I am still working with the doctor on. But that's whatever. What are some of the chickens? Or they're chickens. So we'll be updating you on the chickens. Right now, the snow that we got, they stayed in their coop that night, and then they stopped laying as much as they were. They were laying, about 8 a day, 8 to 9, 7 to 8?
7 to 8.
And then it just dropped to 3 to 4. And so now they're back down to 3 or 4. Actually, they haven't gone away from that. And that's because those are the pellets, the baby chickens. And so that might decrease, and then it might increase in the spring. But there's some decisions that we're making as well. And he doesn't know it, but I was looking at chickens for next year. Sorry, that's off limits. I cannot shop for chickens, but there's some really cute ones.
No.
There's some really cute chickens out there. So we're off the chicken shopping, but we've got some plans for the chickens, most especially if we move. There's some things that we have to think about. But see, I told you I could talk for a while. Well, I'm not going to talk anymore. I hope you enjoy this video. And this is just something that we do. And I hope to incorporate more of what we've done in some of the videos I share. Another video that I will be putting together is an actual stool that I cleaned up, painted, and reupholstered the top for him that he uses in his shop.
All the time.
Do you use it all the time?
A lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so those are the kind of things that we do. We kind of like to do different stuff like that. And I like being in his shop. I don't like him in my sewing area at all. Get away. But he does know how to use my sewing machines. It's just...
Some of them.
Yeah, well, you can have one. But I don't like him touching my sewing machines because I am very particular. And that's just one of those things. Yeah. But anyways, I hope you enjoyed this video. And I would love to have your comments. And folks, if you haven't subscribed yet, I hope that you do. In addition, please share your comments. Tell me some ideas. And have we reupholstered a couch before? Yes, we did. Mm-hmm. That was interesting. It turned out really well.
It was okay.
It was okay. There was something, that was our first upholstery job we ever did. And we learned a lot, right?
Yeah, it was a love seat. It wasn't a full-size couch, but it was...
And it was nice. We did a lovely job. I loved the fabric. He hated the fabric because I'm more of a romantic type fabric choice person when I'm doing home decor. He's not. He's plain and simple. So plain and boring. I don't know. But I try to accommodate his interest. But that was something I wanted, and it turned out, actually for a first upholstery job, it turned out well. But that gave us some experience to go on to do this footstool.
And we had all the tools we needed to do.
Yes.
We didn't have to buy anything.
That was something I invested for my business because some people were asking if I would reupholster some things. I will not do a couch because we don't have the space. Would we do a couch in the future?
Maybe.
Yeah, if we have the space, we will consider doing a couch and other kinds of stuff like that. But right now, we don't have enough room on our property, in our house. And yeah, I told you I could talk too much. Well, anyways, I hope you enjoyed the video, and I would love to read your comments, and I hope you subscribe. Thank you so much, and God bless. Thanks for watching. I hope that you enjoyed it, and I hope that your weekend is going great and that your next week is fabulous. God bless you.